Look where he's heading. Goodness me, there's going to be a big accident. Murphy, straight on. Wow. Charlie,
well, I think something had to break in the car there.
Look at the damage to the front of the car. Greg Murphy, well, he's conscious, but boy, he would have taken the wind out of him, that impact.
The front of that car is just completely destroyed. Greg's getting out of the car, and as we said, we hope that he's all right.
Well, full credit to the guys who build these cars, because look at the strength of that chassis. Murphy can walk out of that. He's had a major impact. Look at that. He really has had the wind knocked out of him.
Marcus Ambrose, massive impact from Cameron McConville.
So it didn't do its job really. I skipped across the top of it, and then I saw the wall coming up and sort of looked away, and thought, oh, I'm going to just glance it. It was a big enough hit to roll it over, and that's the first time I've been upside down before. So the first thing you do is undo the seat belts and end up in the roof of the car.
How was the car?
The car wasn't too bad. It was fixed about actually 4 weeks later. It was more the damage from hitting the wall, but no, all the chassis and everything was fine.
Cars are going off on the gravel.
That's rolled.
It's rolled. There's obviously some rubbish on the road, and
It's Brad Jones
again.
Second race in a row, he's on his roof.
Middle of the road here.
Jace, you all right?
Is this a replica of the Carrera Cup incident we saw earlier in the weekend? There was a massive roll involving Cameron McLean. It looks to be in a similar position. Watch this. This is the exit of turn 3. Trouble here between Paul Morris and Jason Richards. Whoa! Oh! Exactly the same problem. Straight up and over that ripple strip, which has been questioned by many of the senior drivers. And Jason Richards, a monumental accident. That was a break. He's climbing out of the car, but that car is absolutely shot. And
he might be winded there.
It's a dreadful sight, isn't it? Look at the state of that car. A deeply disappointed Jason Richards. He came to this round a little happier, Neil. He won a court case against former employer Team Dynamic. Bathurst, but at the end of the day, someone fire off into the weeds there to the right.
Yes,
There's been a big accident. There's been a huge accident, I'm sure, under that dust cloud. I can see marshals running. Something has happened in there. Someone has run straight off, and it's one of the WPS cars. It's Max Wilson. Safety car will be deployed. It's good to see that Max is okay, but that car is deeply buried.
And on its side. Wow, and that was huge. That is a fast part of the track. And it's on fire. He's just trying to get out.
Max, can you hear me? You okay?
It'd be the least of his worries at the moment, trying to respond to the radio. Marshals will be on the spot. That little lightning bolt you see on the dash, on the front of the bonnet there is the electrical cut-off, which they'll grab and switch the power source off in the car if they have to. There's an external power cut-off on all cars, and it's marked with that triangle and the lightning bolt. And this is just how difficult it is to get yourself out of one of these cars when you're hanging in hanging in your belts. Very unpleasant feeling.
Now he's
away.
Released, yeah.
Because you're tethered by the belts, you're tethered by your radio, you're tethered by your cool suit. Now he's up and away. He's a very fit driver, Max Wilson. Former test driver for the Williams Formula 1 team. A lot of success in Europe, and there he is.
And that would have been a frightening ride for the Brazilian. That is one of the most challenging parts of this Oran Park circuit.
The question is why? Why did he end up there? Was he helped? Let's see. On board, seeing a replay. That's what it's like. About 180 odd kilometres an hour over the top of the hill.
There's not a lot of runoff there, and the tyres aren't sort of bunched together, so they sort of gathered up underneath me and just rolled me over. So it was, yeah, it was interesting.
Every panel on the car yesterday was damaged.
Safety car's about to be deployed. Oh, we've got a car on its roof. It's Paul Morris at turn 7.
Well, this is a very, very nasty accident. Horrendous sight. The Zinger replay will show contact into the wall, and it flips the Team Cirame car upside down and rolling.
Yeah, fortunately, the rollover, now that I've seen it, wasn't as bad as otherwise might have imagined. So side by side, the reason was Brad's car tripped over the curb, and they did both back in there. Oh dear. Nasty incident. All of a sudden, it just would have been crunched from the left side. The guardrail's done a great job there of just cushioning that impact. And in rollover terms, it's not that bad. I mean, it's a pretty wild incident to witness, but a relatively gentle rollover as Paul now scrambles free.
Oh, there's a car upside down here. There's a car rolled on the way into pit entry. Can't figure out who it is. It's a VOC car. It could be Jones, obviously, or Bow. Upside down, pinned against the tyre barrier. Zinger replay might tell more of the story now. Brad's already... Now, he was in a battle with one of the Valvoline cars. Don't know which one it was. Could have been Cam McConville. Might have been his nephew, Andrew Jones. He ends up in the dirt, out wide, and up against that tyre barrier. Fortunately, the tyres have done some job to arrest the speed of the car.
Watch this. Coming down the main straight here on the right-hand side of your screen, locks it up really, really early and backs it into the dirt. Now watch this. Flip it over. Oh.
It's not a real heavy one, so Stephen should be okay.
He stood up. Oh, notice, my goodness, big roll.
Team VOC car, car number 12, Andrew Jones at the wheel. A massive roll, a safety car for sure. Let's hope he's okay. That's an awful incident. And that is a destroyed Walkinshaw performance car, and I've got his voice on the radio. Oh dear. And Windcup's in the lane, so I reckon they'll put slicks on that car now. Remember, he's got margin to spare, so that's an opportunistic pitting for car 888. There's some residual heat there, and there's Andrew getting out, and that's a sick and sorry car that's going to going to require a massive rebuild between now and Bathurst. Outside at turn 2. Whoa! That was Bargwanna. That was Bargwanna. Had a huge moment. It's rolled.
It's a Bundy car.
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. One of the Bundaberg Red races has gone over. And that is an almighty crash.
Yeah, so apologies, I've called that wrong. But that's going to bring out the safety car, and that was a shocker. Can't work out which one it is.
It's 24. It's Fabian Coulthard.
Driver is out. Just stand by, safety car. Safety car standing by.
Well, it's very pleasing that he's been able to get out of that car and walk away. That was, I saw it flick sideways on the curb cam, on the coal tyres, and
a safety car just moved out of
car number 34 is also in the pit lane. So Caruso coming in, that'll be the biggest moment that Fabian's ever had in a race car. That was shocking.
My goodness. Now watch this on the Zinger replay. So it goes into the sand trap sideways. There's only one way to go for that car carrying that amount of speed, and there's mess everywhere. I mean, that car has just disintegrated. But the roll cage has done the job because Fabian has jumped out without a scratch on him. Watch this.
Both those cars were line astern. Apologies for the wrong call, but that was a monster moment. Look at this. I think he's ended up on the grass out there as he's turned it in, and off it's gone. Just illustrates the pace. It's just an explosion, and nothing left of it as Fabian gets out. Remember, it's got 120 litres of fuel on at that point. That's a sickening sight. Here it is again.
Just on the bottom left of screen. Just stepped out.
I reckon the tyres would go. If we
Yeah.
go back to the very beginning of that replay, the left rear tyre has done something bizarre there, right at the point of load.
The other Bundy Red car was right behind him.
Focus, when we get the replay up, focus carefully on the left rear tyre. Just as he turns in, he heads out onto the apron. And well, the camera works. That's about all it is working in there at the moment. Let's watch carefully. Left rear tyre. It's the preceding Bundy car.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely something's failed there.
Of all the places.
He's actually still on the road surface at that point, so I thought to begin with it might have happened on the grass, but that's not the case.
Guys, just in the Bundaberg Red